Content warning. The following episode contains descriptions of drug use, body dismemberment, and violence towards children that may be triggering to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome, Wayward Souls, to the finale of Top Hats and Tombstones. I'm Cameron Holt, I'll be your game master for the evening. I'm joined, as always, by... what did I write about you? Oh, nothing! I'm joined, as always, by the intrepid Arcana crew! Say hello, or whatever, Arcana crew.
We survived this one.
Horses. Most of us.
We haven't done this in a while, but I have some quick announcements before we hop into the episode. The first one is that next week, March 16th, we will be live with our Top Hats and Tombstones campaign wrap-up Q&A, so join us live on Twitch for that if you have some questions that you need answered. After that, we're going to be taking a 5-week break from releasing content. That's going to be 6 weeks from today. That said, we will still be filming and editing content during that period, but in an effort to get ahead of ourselves so that I'm not editing these episodes the week that they air, and so that we can periodically take breaks. And also not be baking out here during the summer months, our best bet is to take a release break, so we're going to be doing that for 6 weeks. During those 6 weeks, though, we will be releasing, eventually we'll be announcing what the next mini-arc is going to be, and so keep an eye out for the trailer for that on YouTube, and we will be back with more excellent tabletop content on April 20th. Another reason to look forward to that date.
Fucking yo,
Yay.
dude!
You're right.
Fucking dude! Get your fucking snacks, dude.
And rip it.
Because that'll be a lovely day.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you're like, oh, that's sad, I won't have new content, and I just found these guys, go check out A War of Fang and First Season 1 on YouTube. Yeah. It's 12 episodes of crazy Game of Thrones style content packed into furry little packages. And if you really need something to fill the time...
Check out our furry little...
If you really need something to fill the time, the Mistwalkers campaign, aka Arcanarama Campaign 1, is also on YouTube. There's 80 plus episodes of 2 to 4 hour content each that you can go watch our entire campaign. And hell, while you're there, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we're gonna have an ice cream and pizza party. And
He's finally gonna let us eat.
yeah,
We're not allowed to eat food.
please get us
This
to
isn't
1,000.
makeup. He made this up.
We're so hungry.
We came from the content mines.
I told him I was lactose intolerant, but he didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't care either.
For Matt, it's a punishment. He knows what he did.
I punished myself
2 lactate.
with the pleasure of cheese and ice cream.
The pleasure of cheese.
Also, check us out on Discord. We're probably going to be telling those peeps some in-progress stuff before it goes to the general public, so...
Yeah, also we don't push this much on this show, but we have a Patreon account as well where there's lots of extra goodies and behind-the-scenes content that you can check out over there, along with monthly art drops and things like that.
We're going to be probably doing some cleanup to Patreon, changing up some content, making it more viable and fun over there, and probably during the time that you don't see us here, you'll see stuff there.
Yeah. So check out the Patreon. There's links to all of this stuff in the description below if you're on YouTube, or in the About section if you're watching on Twitch. So, with all of that out of the way, we continue right where we left off.
Oh, boy.
As an infected horse aboard the Wave Trotter has just attacked its non-infected counterpart. Our stalwart survivors stand atop the long wooden docks of Tartberry Port just across the gangplank from the infected equine beast. The horse pulls a chunk of bloody hide from its fallen comrade and places a shaky, twitching hoof onto the gangplank towards you. What do you do?
No.
apparently.
I don't let it.
So, what do you do?
I shoot it.
I imagine I need to roll a d4 for reasons, but I'm afraid the
For
horses.
fear.
You actually, if you want to act, you will have to spend an adversity token to be able to do so. There's not a roll required. But with your greatest fear facing you down, in order to do anything, you have to spend an adversity token.
Oh.
The only person this doesn't apply to is Shitpants Boris because he is heroic.
Aw, that's adorable. I ain't afraid of no goddamn horse.
I ain't afraid of no horse.
Ezekiel, you buckle down and face your greatest fear.
Oh God.
And what do you do?
Oh God.
How far away is it?
Horse. It's on the plank.
It's across the gangplank from you, like stepping up onto it. Basically, I'm letting you guys act first, and then I'll plug in the horse's action at the end. So you're currently like on the docks, looking up across this probably like 25-foot long gangplank onto the ship, and it is stepping down.
Can I,
Yeah. Go ahead.
can I try and... I think I'm on Cecil's shoulders, attack child. Can I try and bow and arrow it through the eyeball?
Yeah, make a fight check. This will be brawn because the horse is still a ways away from you.
They don't have eyeballs, though. Where have I seen it?
Well, yeah.
It's going to be a difficulty of 6.
Okay. That is a 6.
Nice.
Nice. That meets it.
Attack child.
Yeah, you fire an arrow from your short bow that you got at the hunting lodge, and you deal a single harm to the horse. The arrow doesn't quite hit the eye; it sticks into like the shoulder haunch
Okay.
of the beast, and it takes another step forward, clopping slowly towards you.
Oh.
You imagine saying some normal, ambiguous phrase that a horse would usually say.
Before things get bad, I have quick healing. What does that do?
You recover from injuries more quickly, and you don't suffer lasting effects from most injuries.
Okay.
Did you take a harm in the last session?
No, I haven't taken any, but before I did, I wanted to know what the terms and conditions
Yeah.
were.
So basically, like, if you were to take 2 harm, then like overnight, that would kind of heal back up for you. Whereas the rest of
Okay.
you, if you had 2 harm, you would lose 1 on one rest and then 1 on the next rest. Because you're all adults.
I want to blast this horse.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a fight check. I'm gonna roll brawn again. This time only a 3
Let's see.
is the difficulty.
That's a 2, but the blunderbuss is +3.
So
So
5 total. So you succeed by 2. You inflict another harm to the horse, blasting a chunk out of its other shoulder, and it kind of like stumbles as its back legs make it onto the gangplank. Cecil or Ezekiel?
I think I try to grab my rifle and kind of fumble with it for a second because I'm fucking scared of shit, and then eventually just grab the hunting knife at the end of a spear or whatever, like the spear hunting knife, and just try to keep it at bay a little bit and like.
Yeah, rush forward and stab forward at it. Go ahead and make a fight check. This time, as you rush forward with a melee weapon versus the 2 ranged attacks that were just made,
Oh, God.
the horse rears up and is going to kind of like try and bat at you with its hooves as you go to stab, and it's going to make an opposed fight check.
Oh boy.
This is a difficulty of 18.
Cool.
18.
I exploded,
Nice.
Okay.
so that's 10.
Explode again. Do you get a plus for the knife spear?
It's +1.
+1
Okay.
for the next.
Explode. Explode.
16.
Okay. However, that's only a loss by 2. You go and stab forward and slice across the belly of the horse, but it is coming down with the hooves and catches you across the top of the head, and you just like get a cut over your eye and start bleeding a bit. You take 1 harm, kind of stumbling back.
Why am I doing this shit?
It was
I was
good
gonna
for
say,
storytelling.
you all have guns.
Yeah.
I was trying to be quiet.
It's
I thought it was
Gangplank.
far enough away. It was a spear.
That's fair. Trying to be quiet
They
was
have
good,
long-
but
they
now
have long-
now
Yeah.
Blunderbuss has rung out.
Yeah,
and
Adelia was
I
not
thought
giving a
maybe I
shit
could like
about
move
that.
it around on the thing. No.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Hell yeah. Ezekiel, you start taking left-hand shots with your revolver. Go ahead and make a fight check
Or
versus the horse's brawn. It's
Cecil.
going to be...
Yeah.
Sorry, Cecil. Every time. This is going to be a difficulty of 6.
19, because the revolver's +3, right?
Nice, yeah.
Face.
So yeah, you succeed by 13, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to
Head
inflict
explodes.
10 or greater. That inflicts 3 harm. It only had 2 remaining.
Yeah.
What does it look like as you as you start blasting?
I catch it with one shot in the leg to make it like start toppling over, and like mid-fall I'll also shoot it like right between the eyes so that its
Hell yeah.
wormy head explodes.
Yeah, the two, as you shoot it right between the eyes, the 2 eye stalks that are just like wiggling back and forth, it hits the ground and they actually like slip out from the sockets and slide across the ground and just kind of like fall and plop into the water. After your turn, the second horse that was on board has already like begun twitching, and you see as it is now like unnaturally lifting itself with its hooves, and you swear you hear like the snapping of joints as it stands up and begins rushing towards you.
Oh boy.
The horse is going to rush forward at probably Ezekiel, who's still at the head of the pack, having stepped forward, and it's going to attempt to start like trampling and nipping at.
Did you take
nipping at
a
you with its
card
horse
from
feet.
earlier?
Yeah, you got
No,
an
I
adversity
didn't.
token for your failure. How do you attempt to defend from this onslaught of horse fighting?
Oh boy.
I'm
Are
gonna
you-
try to.
Do some
Are
deadlifts?
you on the game plank?
Well, he has a spear.
I'm like, yeah, next to the game plank.
Next to it or on
Yeah.
it?
You had to step like up onto it.
Okay.
Yeah.
On it. I guess I have the spear in hand. I'll just try to be like,
Yeah, you try.
keep it back.
Yeah, try and like spear it as it rushes at you. Go ahead and make a fight check. This is only a difficulty of 8.
Only.
3. And it's how many or more is
4 to 6 is 2 harm.
4 to 6. I rolled 3. It had 8. Cool. I think I'm dead.
Okay, so the horse rushes forward. You don't die. You are incapacitated.
Yeah.
Because that brings you exactly to 3 harm, correct?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
even if I use one more, that's only 4,
Right.
and it rolled 8, which still, yeah.
Correct. So the horse rushes forward.
Fucking horses.
It tramples over Ezekiel, and it's like snapping at him with its teeth and pushing him down to the side, but continues rushing towards the loudest sound that it heard, which was the blunderbuss and now the revolver going off, and continues on towards your group. That brings us back to you guys. What do you do?
So just to be clear, like he got trampled, but he didn't get bit.
You're not sure. Ezekiel has fallen and is not moving on the gangplank. What do all of you do?
Rifle on the ground by me.
Or I mean, I shoot the horse again. If
Yeah.
unless you, I'll go last.
Can I take the alarm clocks that we had and just like throw one like off of the gangplank like farther behind us to try to get it to go after that?
Yeah. Yeah. Make a. You're probably going to hate me for this. That's very clever. Make either a brains check or a brawn check. Brains is basically if you're leaning into like strategic placement. Brawn is more if you're just trying to get it as far away from you as you can, but being loud. This is going to be a difficulty of only 5.
Okay. I'm gonna do brains because
Okay.
I'm surprisingly Adelia has a little bit of smarts when it comes to horses, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's your favorite enemy.
Narratively
Horses
make that work.
love alarm clocks.
They hate them actually. Which wants to stomp them? Okay.
Victorian horse girl.
What was the DC again? DC
5.
Okay.
Such proud and hateful beasts.
That's a 7.
7.
6 on
Nice.
5 plus 1.
You quickly wind up an alarm clock that you've had at the ready at your side and toss it over your shoulder as it rings. You see the horse's attention does veer in that direction, and it begins like curving around to the side of you and heading off towards the alarm clock. What do the rest of you do?
Get on the ship.
I'll drag Ezekiel onto the ship.
Excellent. Go ahead and make a brawn check. This is going to be a difficulty of 4 for Cecil to lift another person Actually, I'm going to say this is going to be difficulty of 6 for Ezekiel, because I forgot you only have one arm.
Can I help?
Oh, you're a little small.
Yes,
Oh,
in
baby.
helping, I will say you can also make a brawn check of the same difficulty.
Because I rolled a 5, which beat the original thing, but not the supplement.
You said-
Yeah. To be fair, I can't see what you rolled from here.
That's
You
fair.
said 6?
Oh boy.
And I can't give you a card or anything.
We're trying.
The two of you are working together, and you get Ezekiel's body about halfway up the gangplank towards the ship.
I think Adelia's like standing with the blunderbuss. I would have to pack the blunderbuss again, but I want to try to make sure that the horse doesn't come back around towards us.
Yeah. Speaking of the horse rushes forward to the alarm clock and begins stomping and biting at it and crushes it. The sound stops.
Classic horse.
I'm gonna make one more quick roll for the horse. This would technically be brains, wouldn't it?
Horse
Doesn't have
brains.
great brains.
It's got poop brains.
I'm gonna pull up the Tray of Fate
Why?
because
Got them worm brains.
This will determine whether or not it turns back around for us.
yes, you see as it crushes the alarm clock and the area goes silent, then the horse kind of like lifts up its equine head and turns in your direction and is just sniffing the air.
I do like the idea that you're like quietly like watching, packing your blunderbuss as quiet as possible, being like,
I'm going to say this is a difficulty of 5. The horse will have to explode to catch your scent. That explodes. That's a 4.
Phrasing.
For a total of 7.
That horse exploded, and that's a bad thing.
This particular explosion was very bad.
I feel like horses exploding
however,
is usually not good.
That's going to be the horse's whole action. It rushes forward and crushes the alarm clock and then catches your scent and begins heading back, kind of like doing a very like... it's the way that these creatures move, it's like they're at a lower frame rate than all of you. They're kind of like jumpier and more jittery, but it's still doing this sort of like dressage move as it loops around and is kind of rounding the area to come back towards the gangplank. That brings us back to all of you. What do you do?
Can I?
Can I lay
like-
there unconscious for a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're doing great.
You certainly can, yeah.
Can I like motion Adelia to come help with Ezekiel and take aim at this horse?
Yeah, so you strap the bow back around yourself and pull your gun out.
I'm just gonna see if I can drag him to free up everyone else.
Okay.
See if help is required or not.
Yeah, we'll say same check as before. This is a brawn check, difficulty of 6.
That rolled so
Oh, that
much.
was so... It touched every face before it stopped.
It was like, don't hit the whammy.
In this moment, Cecil, you find power within yourself, and with your one arm, you heft Ezekiel up onto your shoulder
Hell yeah.
and get him up onto the boat on the other side of the gangplank. Shitpants Boris, you're taking aim at the horse. Do you fire?
Yeah.
Okay, make an attack, fight check. This is going to be a difficulty of 7. I'm sorry, I rolled the wrong die. This is going to be a difficulty of 9.
Oh boy.
That explodes.
Oh,
Kaboot.
Okay, 12 plus 9 is 21, plus 3 is 24.
Holy shit. Did you just kill that horse?
Beat it by 15.
Okay, so as the rules state, it really only goes up to an attack being greater by 10 or more. That was far greater than 10 or more,
Yeah.
so you do inflict 3 harm.
Nice. But it has.
However, the horses both had 4 harm, so there is 1 remaining.
Break your stupid fucking leg on the way, horse.
That brings us to Adelia.
Guess I'm gonna shoot it as well.
Okay, make a fight check against the horse's brawn. That explodes.
Oh boy.
Good lord.
It's a difficulty of 15. Boris takes a shot at the horse's kneecap, and it buckles, and as its leg buckles, it breaks, but the horse continues running on its broken joint instead of the hoof,
I don't like
and
that.
that just that image alone is like off-putting enough, but also its change in trajectory makes this more difficult of a shot to make.
Does it have any eye stalks yet? It's like one halfway popping out.
Yeah, one of the eyes is fully engorged, and the other one is starting to press as it pulses.
What was the DC again?
15.
Jeez, okay, so it's fine. I just have to explode a couple of times.
Yeah, no big deal.
It's fine. Fuck.
Let's go!
Okay, so
You're-
that's one explosion.
Oh yeah, you are D6.
Okay, nope, so that's gonna be a 12.
Okay.
Is that with your +2?
That's, yeah.
Okay, that doesn't meet the difficulty. However, that was just versus its brawn to resist because you were out of range, so it doesn't get any harm on you inflicted. However, it rushes forward. I'm going to say we know that Cecil has Ezekiel's body on the ship. The two of you are still on the gangplank.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask, do you guys want me to roll to see who the horse goes for, or do you want to roll to see who the horse goes
Just
for?
roll your little dice.
Okay.
Always you.
I'll use the Tray of Fate again. Odds or evens?
Evens.
Okay. Evens, it attacks Adelia. Odds, it attacks Shitpants Boris.
I feel like
That's an 11.
Always.
Every time.
you know what? I think Adelia's. She would like push Spance out of the way.
I love this. Make a quick,
But not like off the gangplank, right?
make a flight,
Go and start running.
make a flight. Okay, wait, I gotta, hang on. I gotta bring the Tray of Fate back out for this. You're gonna make a flight check, and don't roll a 1.
Okay.
Wait, I failed 2 things, right?
That's a 15.
That's a 15? Okay.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, Adelia, you see the horse rushing forward, not slowing even due to its injury, and you look down and you see Shitpants Boris standing in front of you, this kid that you at the first didn't even want to bring along. You didn't even like the idea of him being in your house. You reach forward and you grab him by the collar of his shirt, his dirty little shirt, and one arm just heft him behind you. Shitpants Boris, you are like bringing up your gun as this horse is coming up over you, and you feel a tug, and suddenly you thunk to the ground on the ship. Adelia, the horse is going to attempt to maul and hoof you. How do you attempt to resist? Just a reminder, there's any number of things you can do. We'll use any different type of skill set that you have, or stat that you have. So you could attempt to flee backwards onto the ship. You could attempt to fight back. You could just try and brace yourself and take it. Any number of things are at your disposal.
Is this a planned action or a snap action?
This is absolutely a snap decision.
I'm definitely going to try to flee. So I'm going to try to get back to the ship.
Okay, go ahead and make a flight check. The difficulty for this is 18. Second natural 18 I've rolled on this d20 for the horse.
Okay.
That's your best one, though, right?
It is. I have a d20 for it. 13.
Okay.
Fuck. Okay.
You turn and start rushing towards the ship.
If you
You only fail by 5, which is between 4 to 6. The horse, one of its hooves comes down on your leg. You hear a snap, and you take 2 harm. As one of the hooves comes down on your leg, you continue pressing forward. That's going to bring us to everyone else. Okay. Shitpants Boris, go ahead and make a fight check. This is going to be versus the horse's brawn. Don't roll a 1. The difficulty for this is 9.
14.
hell,
Nice. What does it look like as you take out the horse as it's coming, like literally standing over Adelia on the gangplank? She's just got like a hand on the side of the ship and is about to pull herself over as you see it rearing up to come down and smash her spine.
I'm gonna aim for its knee, like on its back leg, so that it doesn't have stability to stand on the gangplank.
Yeah. The horse rears up, front hoof, one in the air, the other dangling from its wretched hinge. As it steps back, you fire at one of the back joints of the leg, which buckles, and the horse falls over the side of the gangplank and splashes into the water below.
Nicely done.
Adelia, you make it aboard the ship. You're all breathing heavily.
Screaming in pain.
Ezekiel
Broken leg.
is bleeding quite a lot.
I want to check and see if there's any bite marks on him.
Okay.
Or, did we see any vermicular activity on the ends of the hooves?
You didn't notice, but go ahead and make a brains check to look over the body. Ezekiel, without any of your companions seeing, I'd like for you to roll me a d20. You want an 11 or higher. And please text me the outcome of this roll.
I rolled an 8.
And I pull my hands away, my eyes are undulating.
Crazy how you learned to do that just for this.
Can I kick the gangplank off?
We didn't check the ship.
I was rolling to see what your difficulty would be. I exploded many times. You don't see. You see that there are a lot of bloody imprints of hooves, but it's not like what you would expect, where it's like a perfect oh, look at the horseshoe shape. It is torn flesh, cuts and scrapes. It's impossible to tell if there are any bites, but the worst of it seems to be around the forearms and the shins.
Inject him. Just be safe.
All right. I'm going to inject him with the syringe of quinine that I have.
Okay, you do so. Ezekiel, you are no longer infected. You are still unconscious.
Fuck! I didn't think I was.
You rolled a d20. I said you wanted 11 or higher. You rolled a 5.
Yep.
Were you bit?
No, just my leg's been stomped on.
Did you feel any wiggling in the hoof when you were stepped on?
Let's do a injection just to be safe.
I don't have.
I have.
Well, you can do,
One,
it's what,
and
a
it's a
third or
4.
fourth per?
I've still got one. Sorry, I was hiding behind that fence post. And Dr. Angus Blair steps forward with the quinine and he injects you, Adelia, just to be safe. You're not sure if that would have passed the infection or not, but as
Better
of now,
safe than sorry.
you are safe.
We should check the rest of the ship.
Surely that commotion would have brought anything else up here, unless they're locked up. Maybe it is smart to remove the gangplank, though.
I'll bring it up onto the ship, in case we need to put it back down.
Dr. Angus Blair helps you. He kind of looks over at this door that's just kind of hanging open on its hinges that leads to a staircase that goes below decks, peers down, and takes a step back, and he's like, I think I'll maybe stay up here and keep eyes just in case any of that commotion alerted anything within the city. I'll raise an alarm to come back up and start setting sail if I see anything coming towards us.
That sounds good.
I can also tend to Ezekiel while I'm up here. And,
Even better.
He will kneel down and begin giving you medical attention. I'm going to go ahead and, for Dr. Angus, I'm going to roll a brains check, which is his highest stat.
I'm going to give him all of the supplies that I have for medical stuff in case he needs them.
Nice.
So I don't know how much of this was spent tending to my severed arm earlier, but I had sutures, cotton lint bandages, surgical scissors, and high alcohol content
Excellent.
liquor.
Yeah, he takes
I'm
all
gonna
of
swig
that.
one of
And bar
you
rag.
hand it to him.
Yeah, he takes all of these supplies and begins going to work on Ezekiel. He rolls a d20 for brains because he's a very smart man. He also is skilled at medicine. He's going to get a +3 to this roll. On a 10 or higher, Ezekiel, you will remove one harm and return to consciousness. That is exactly a 10 for a total of 13.
Ooh.
Ezekiel, you take in a breath, you open your eyes, you feel a gentle swaying, and for a moment think to yourself, am I dead? Is this what it's like to float in the one God's presence? And then you realize that you're just on the ship and that everything hurts. Looking down at you is Dr. Angus Blair, who just finishes tying up a bandage.
Yeah.
He's like, welcome back. We injected you with the quinine just to be safe. I did see what looked to be perhaps a bite mark from the horse, but I've removed a number of small worms that had ceased their wiggling from the wound, and you should be all clear now. You'll want to take it easy.
Okay, thank you.
I'm
I'm gonna take a swig of laudanum, just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not like just enough to like.
Oh yeah,
ease the
for sure.
pain a
Yeah,
little bit,
takes the edge off. Absolutely. The rest of you.
Hand Adelia one of the teddy bears that I found.
Aw.
Give her a thumbs up, and I'm gonna go with Cecil to investigate the ship.
So sweet.
Yeah, I gotta
Just
set
gonna
this
sit in the
leg.
corner, sipping on the laudanum, holding the rifle.
Yeah, Dr. Angus, yeah, he kind of like props you up in a chair next to the edge of the ship so that you can keep eyes out over the city. Go ahead and make a brains check as you are keeping watch. This is going to be another 2-tiered roll. The first one I'll tell you is going to be a difficulty of 5, and the next one I'm not going to say.
Ooh, explodes.
Hey!
Nice.
So that's 9 already. 14.
14. Excellent. I'm going to make a note of that, and we'll return to that in a moment.
Hopefully, like, your snail concoction doesn't counteract the quinine or something terrible like that.
No, this is just straight up laudanum
Okay.
from the hospital.
This is straight up laudanum.
Yeah, it's just a straight up tincture of heroin and alcohol and yeah.
You know, the regular stuff.
Yeah.
This is a little less dire for Adelia, so I'm not going to go all tray of fate on it, but I am going to roll another basically medical attention check for Dr. Angus Blair to help you kind of set your leg and get it situated. Same thing, it's going to be a difficulty of 10. He adds 3 to this.
Holding the bear.
That's a total of 18.
Oh,
You
nice.
can remove 1 harm as you get patched up. And as you get patched up and he kind of splints the wound with another chair that he finds on deck that looks like it had already been broken apart. And he fashions like a makeshift splint, I guess is what it would be. But tight enough and well made enough that you can actually walk on it still, albeit with a bit of a limp at the moment. Shit Pants and Cecil. The two of you,
Wait.
guns in hand. The two of you, guns in hand, head below decks.
Charlie's angeling our way down.
Yeah. Stepping down, you hear the creaking of wood around you as you step through into this sort of cargo hold area, and you can see on the far side there are several stocks that would have been used as like makeshift stables. There's hay placed in them on the ground and some in a trough, as well as some troughs of fresh water. One of them is partially collapsed into the other, and within it you see pinned under a wooden beam that has kind of like fallen on top is just the upper torso of a man that you can just see like one arm and the head protruding out, and you see eye stalks pulsing and can hear him whispering under his breath.
Can I take the other bear?
Uh-huh.
And I want to be so quiet.
Okay.
So quiet
Yeah.
as I approach. And he's like stuck where he is?
Seems to be. Go ahead and make a flight check to remain quiet. This is going to be a difficulty of 4.
That is a 7.
Excellent, yeah. You quietly approach. It doesn't seem to notice as you do.
I'm going to push the bear up and shoot through the bear.
I was wondering what you were doing with the bear. I was like, are you going to smother him with the bear?
The old Teddy silencer.
Yeah, you make this makeshift silencer with knowledge from your years as a sootling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, this is not the first time.
It's a cold.
go ahead and make a fight check. This is going to be versus.
That's the day the teddy bears committed murder.
Oh, that explodes.
Good lord.
Wow.
Quit exploding.
I'm sorry.
It's rude.
It's very rude.
This is a difficulty of 15.
Okay. So I have to explode.
All right, his brawn is only a D8. I rolled an 8 and a 7.
Damn.
That is a 13.
Wait, what was the difficulty?
15.
Can I spend? I can spend this to help, and that counts double.
Oh. So that would be
it'd be
15.
Excellent. You fire through the teddy bear and inflict 1 harm to this creature, which then begins
Yeah,
thrashing.
I'm gonna out.
Yeah, it begins thrashing in the space and like reaches out to try and grab you. Make 1 more flight check. It's going to be a difficulty of 7.
You've got cards.
Not enough!
7, what'd you do? You roll a 1 or something?
I rolled a 3, plus 1 is 4. I can get up to a 6.
That's enough to not be that bad, right?
Currently, its attack roll is greater by 3. So yeah, spending your tokens wouldn't. It would still be
help.
1 to 3.
So it wouldn't.
Oh,
make
it's
a
a
difference.
okay.
It reaches out and grabs your ankle,
that's
shit
what I
pants, and squeezes with an inhuman strength. And you can feel like the tendons being gripped, and you know for a fact you've been grabbed in ways like this before. You know that's going to leave a nasty bruise as it reaches out and latches onto you. What is Cecil doing?
I'm going to use my axe to attack it.
Yeah, go ahead
Try to
and
finish it off.
make a fight check. This is going to be his brawn because his hands are full.
I don't have a teddy bear silencer. So.
This is only a difficulty of 6.
That was.
Your dice are really moving today.
13.
13. Nice. That is by a 10 or more. You inflict the 2 harm that were needed. What does it look like as you bring the axe down?
Very butcherly severs his head from the body.
Absolutely.
To end its
Yeah.
grip.
I'll say
hopefully.
you get such a good swing in, and based on like the position of the creature, which is like reaching out like this, you go through the neck and the shoulder and remove the head and the arm at the same time, freeing shit pants Boris.
Beautiful.
The hand does like cling for a little bit longer before loosening and falling to the
Like
floor.
kicking my leg.
And looking around the space, you don't see any more signs of infected. You see that there's a small supply of food and provisions for travel,
Apples.
but no more horses are present, just the 2, from what you can tell, and this stable hand.
Is there like an empty box at all that I can find in the hold?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna pile up the remains of this infected in there and then
Yeah.
throw it overboard.
Absolutely, yeah, you do so.
I'll
Toss
push it off.
into the ocean.
How was your
Meanwhile,
leg?
I think it'll be okay, Mr. Cecil.
All right.
meanwhile, back on deck, Ezekiel and Adelia, what are the 2 of you? Are you like chatting about anything, or are you both just kind of taking in the situation that you just narrowly avoided?
Close call. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm not feeling too great.
Did I just hear a muffled gunshot?
No.
The 2 of you return to the deck. How is it looking down there? Anything to be worried about?
I push the box overboard as I asked.
It's all good now.
What was that?
Wipe the axe on something nearby.
I
Not
toss
me.
the teddy bear overboard.
Oh, I'll wipe it on the teddy bear before you toss it over.
Excellent.
So are we actually moving at the moment, or
No, the ship is still anchored.
Should we set sail then?
do I see anything after like some commotion? Is anything heading our way? And kind of like use the rifle as like kind of a crutch and kind of go and see like what's coming.
Yeah, looking out, at the moment, you don't see anything. You think you can see a bit of movement in some shop windows, but nothing is on the streets approaching you at the moment.
I wonder if there are any sailors still in town, hold up, that would want to join us.
I mean, I've got a bit of know-how. The ship isn't that big. I think our main bet is going to be, first we'll need to obviously unmoor ourselves from the dock. It's that rope over there, the thick one that's keeping us tied on. Someone will have to climb the rigging up to the sails and unfurl them. And a couple of us probably will need to get together and here we are. Dr. Angus walks over and rifles through what looks like some planks that were laying on the ground. Some of them are these like long square pegs, and picks them up and shoves them into this circular protrusion in sort of like the central portion of the ship, and places another one on the other side. And a couple of us will have to spin this around to weigh anchor and bring it up. From there, we should be untethered, sails unfurled, and we can make our way out. The mast is up that way. It's this large pole here, and then we've got the ship's wheel up there as well, which is how we'll steer ourselves. It controls the rudder underneath.
Did you already know how to do this with the ship, or did you have to study that just for this?
I had to look up some terms.
Okay.
But mostly, yeah. I've been doing
He
fantasy
has a
shit for a long
favorite
time.
show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been watching One Piece for years.
Should we go down to Cape Moth and see if we can collect Pete and his apprentice before leaving the island?
Not a bad idea.
Isn't there... Forgive me for... I'm not usually a suspicious man, but there are talks of some sort of sea monster in those waters.
Oh, yes.
I think there's monsters in all the waters now.
That's true.
But what if a sea monster?
What if it wasn't? What if it was already a monster before it was infected, and then,
That's infected.
and now it's got a hankering for ship blood? Which of you are doing which thing? There are 3 things that need to be done. We've got to weigh anchor, we've got to unmoor, and we've got to unfurl the sails. Who wants to handle which thing?
I ain't climbing shit.
I'll go up.
All right, ship pants Boris, I'm gonna need you
Be careful.
to give me a grit check.
Aye, aye,
Difficulty of
Mr.
6
Cecil.
to have the grit required to climb to those heights.
Is there a rope for safety or anything?
What?
That exploded.
Hey!
9.
Hell yeah.
I scurvy.
Yeah, you're like, this kid has definitely played on jungle gyms in his free time as you just scurry up the ropes and the rigging up to
I
the
climb
top.
buildings.
I imagine it's like a little off-putting the way he's like.
He just
super
parkours
fast.
up. This 8-year-old is just the most dexterous
Climbing
kid.
gutter systems or whatever up the side of buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, you get all the way up to the top. There's about 4 ropes along this piece of timber that goes perpendicular to the mast, and you untie the ropes, and the sails unfurl and fall down and begin catching wind, which then pulls taut against the mooring.
I'll undo the
sure.
mooring.
Excellent.
Father ever teach you to sail?
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna do my best to carry us on this one, but I also I'll take full responsibility if we sink.
Aye, aye, doc. From the top.
Yeah, hanging down by one arm from the rigging.
Should call you Topmast Boris from now on.
It's ship pants.
All right.
Ship pants.
Ship pants.
I don't know about all this.
Adelia, as you approach the mooring rope to unmoor the ship, you have a couple of options here. You can either use a brains check to try to puzzle out how to untie the knot that has been tied here. That's going to be, now that it's been pulled taut, a little bit more challenging. It's going to be a difficulty of 6. Or, if you want to cut the rope, you can make a fight check, difficulty of 5.
Saber.
Let's start with brains. See where that gets us.
Okay.
I got a +1 brains too.
Yeah, I think all adults do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh.
an 8 + 1. Well, it explodes actually.
Hell yeah. So many explosions in this
Outsmart the fuck out of this
explosive
rope.
finale.
That's 13 total.
Nice. Yeah. You step forward and kind of like look over it for a second. It's a very complicated looking knot with just like the end bit of the rope kind of sticking straight up. And you kind of like stare at it for a good minute or two. And you just grab the top and pull it, and it unfurls the whole thing.
Which seems harder between the anchor and the lifting the sails?
The sails have already been unfurled.
Oh, those are what's the twisting? Oh, that's the anchor.
Yeah. So yeah, you spin the thing and it weighs anchor,
Yeah.
raises the anchor from the seafloor.
That's the last thing that needs to be done.
I can
So
help
can we
with
both do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 2 pegs plugged in that you can work together. So the way that this is going to work with the 2 of you working together is each of you will make a brawn check to turn the capstan and lift the anchor from the seafloor. Normally it'd be a difficulty of 10 by yourself, but since both of you are doing it, it's a difficulty of 7.
Two.
Dr. Angus is
Ezekiel,
helping?
you're so injured.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Nothing.
you go to lean on it, and you definitely have broken bones. You're
Yeah.
just like, oh. Cecil, you're pushing with one arm. You put your body weight into it, but having to lean up against it, your boots are slick with the blood of a horse, and you just can't get the traction required. Dr. Angus is going to step forward to try and help.
Is there a rope connecting the anchor to the ship?
There's a chain, a thick chain
Yeah.
that is basically being coiled by the capstan as it spins. He has to explode. He does!
Hey!
Wild.
Nice. For a total of 8, one more than you needed.
Perfect.
The strength of a whale.
He steps up as the two of you are pushing and heaving, and he plugs in another peg and starts pushing as well, and it slowly starts to turn, and the anchor rises, and the ship slowly begins to sail out of port. As you're moving along the docks, and the ship begins to slowly lurch along the long length of the wood, you hear a voice calling out in the distance. Wait! Don't go! Wait for us! Appearing around the corner of a building about 100 yards away, you see the familiar visage of Liliana Baldersnoot, whom you haven't seen since the Orca incident 1 week past. She is hand in hand with a dirty little child that you'd recognize anywhere. Fart pisser.
Heart piss.
The sheared remains of Liliana's formerly frilly dress ruffles in the wind as she sprints towards your ship, pulling along the sootling behind her.
We should drop anchor again so that they can board.
Fart pisser was really stinky, though.
There's a
Are you
rising
good sorts, though?
There's a rising cacophony. Rounding the same corner behind them is a massive horde of infected. It has to be every person who's lost their life to this outbreak in Tartberry Port, as bodies careen through storefront windows along the harbor. Others appear along rooftops, hurling themselves down to the street below, where they hastily get back to their feet in pursuit of the pair running frantically for your ship. The infected are in hot pursuit, but there's about a 50-yard gap between them and the 2 survivors. You have a few options. If you leave the 2 survivors to their fate, you're pretty sure that you'll be well into the harbor before any infected can reach you, assuming they can't swim. If you want to help the pair, you could drop the anchor and set out the gangplank for them to climb aboard, but in order to keep any infected from boarding as well, depends on if you can get the anchor back up fast enough, and you'd most likely be sacrificing your gangplank. You could also simply toss a life preserver on a rope onto the dock that you're sailing along and leave their fates up to chance. It's up to them to grab the preserver in time and climb the rope to be pulled aboard.
Could I present a 4th option?
That was my next thing. Unless any of you have any other ideas, I now need to ask you a Game Master's favorite question. What do you do?
Could we tie a rope to the mast and then shoot it out to where they are?
You
With the bow
could.
and
That
arrow?
would be essentially the same thing as throwing a life preserver overboard.
But we can aim it a little better.
We anchor.
Potentially.
I've got a bag of black powder. Maybe we could.
I have a couple of flaming concoctions.
dock.
We could throw those behind them.
Concoctions,
Throw like
black powder, rifle.
like we can, if we throw the life preserver out for them to grab, then they can grab that, and then we can throw flaming concoctions to stop the horde from getting to them. Or do we have another alarm clock?
I don't think an
You do?
alarm clock is going to be
There
enough.
were 2.
You have one more. We could, okay, perhaps we throw out the alarm clock first, then we throw the flaming concoctions around the alarm clock so that they're drawn into the flames. And
Black powder at the edge of the dock, just in case.
I really think our safest bet for them is going to be dropping anchor, setting out the gangplank, because, I mean, we may hit the end of this dock before we can pull them up, and it's the dead of winter. If they hit that water, they're going to go into shock, and there's not a guarantee that they can keep holding on.
That's a good point. If we drop anchor, set out the gangplank for them to get on. We can throw out some flaming concoctions. I also still have 2 small bags of black powder. We can throw that into the flaming concoctions to blow up anything that's coming at us.
We need our strongest to be able to lift the anchor again, though.
Right. I don't want to assume any captainly positions, but I'd say Shitpants and Adelia, the two of you be our throwers, and the three of us are back on that capstan, ready to raise anchor as soon as they're on board. And we just leave the gangplank. We'll find a way to get down from the ship. We've got plenty of rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed?
All right.
All right.
All right, drop anchor. And you guys begin unfurling. It's much easier going the other direction to lower the anchor. The ship comes to a halt. You feel, as the capstan comes to its end point, and you know that the anchor has hit the bottom, and the ship goes a little bit further until the chain, it pulls taut, and because your sails are still unfurled. I'll say probably together with the three of you, Angus and Cecil and Ezekiel, all take the gangplank and set it out as the two are rushing forward.
I've given the 2 flaming concoctions and 2 small bags of black powder
Okay.
to y'all.
My gun is like in my mouth.
Lily.
Holding
Like
it.
barrel or
Like barrel.
Oh no.
My friends is a 4. However, all settlings know adequate gun safety.
Sure. Liliana and Fart Pisser make it to the gangplank and are both just like, thank the one God you stopped for us.
Hurry.
They get on board. Liliana quickly is going to rush forward, seeing you guys turning the capstan. She was just on a ship from Libertalia to Thorncroft not 4 months ago. She immediately starts pushing to help you guys who are trying to raise anchor. The infected are hot on their heels. So first, I'm going to need, this could be fight or grit, to throw the flaming concoctions. This is going to be a difficulty of 5.
These are planned actions, though, right?
This is a planned action, yes. A difficulty of 5 will slow down the horde a little bit. A difficulty of 10 or more will significantly aid you. So go ahead and make your checks.
So that's a 10.
10, excellent.
No. That is a 1.
But it's a 5 if we spend all of these.
Excellent.
Like 7.
Excellent.
Well, no.
with
If you
yours
spend
too,
yours
yeah.
and I spend mine, it becomes a 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, spending your adversity tokens, you meet both thresholds. Exactly. So one of you tosses out a flaming concoction, which hits the dock and shatters and begins spreading fire along the dock itself. An alarm clock shortly follows thereafter, landing immediately in the center of the fire. The horde go for it and begin piling onto each other, and the flame quickly spreads around them. You're not sure if it's something about the human body or about infected bodies, but they seem very flammable as the fire spreads around them.
The dock is also.
Yeah, and as such, begins collapsing. And you see as infected are plunging into the frigid waters. The fire does quickly go out, unfortunately. It's actually like spreading along both edges, and infected are continuing to rush forward and fall into the water. However, their bodies start to pile up as some of them start making it across that little gap that was pushed, or that was created. What this has done for you, however, is now I need what would be a DC 12 brawn check. With all the help that you guys are getting, it's going to go down to a DC of 9.
So how does that work with multiple? Like, do we all need to hit that? Do some of us?
One of you needs
One
to
of
hit
you.
that. So,
I'm looking at you.
or and let me post this to you. Brawn check DC of 9, or I would also allow you to roll a flight check with a DC of 15.
I'm rolling pro.
I'm both are 3 above what I can do, so Braun would have the higher chance of exploding, so I
Right.
should do that.
Okay. Go ahead and make your brawn checks. I'm not going to roll for Liliana or Angus because their assistance is what's lowering the DC.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 3. No. Don't you have good Braun?
There's a rifle
I
on
have
this ship,
12.
right?
I think Ezekiel
I am
has
not.
the rifle.
Yeah, I've got the rifle.
Can I have that? Can I just shoot the chain that's holding the anchor?
You can. However, this is a This is a thick chain. It's meant to hold a heavy weight, and the chain itself is part of the weight that assists in keeping a ship from moving. So, that said,
Right now, we need the ship to move.
I would argue that this is a task at which only the most incredible could even possibly succeed. But if they succeed, it will be one of the most impressive things a character has ever done. This is nearly a guaranteed failure. The difficulty is 20.
Can we trade
It's a
adversity
+3, by the way.
tokens between ourselves?
This is a snap decision that Shitpants Boris is
Well,
making. at the
not that. I
moment.
was just like, I have lucky, which lets me spend 2 adversity to re-roll a check, but I don't have any adversity tokens, so. Could
I mean,
somebody
you guys
else?
get adversity tokens for having failed that check just
Oh,
now.
that's
I am
true.
lucky.
So, Shitpants Boris, this is a Tray of Fate roll if I have ever seen one.
So what would that have brought you up to?
Oh, should I re-roll that real quick?
Do you have lucky?
I do have lucky, but this was DC, what? 8?
7 for Braun?
It was 9.
9 for
Broad.
Broad.
Yeah,
Nine
yeah.
for
No,
Braun, sorry.
no, wait. I could do that. but-
You could re-roll
That's
it.
fine.
1,
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
6.
probably
Yeah, I've
not.
only got 2.
I
For
have to
different tracks,
explode and then do well.
What die are you rolling for this?
A 12.
12.
I have a D6. It wasn't gonna.
It's possible.
It's possible. It will be the most impressive thing that you've ever done in your life, Shitpants Boris. Your short 8-year-old life.
No.
That looks like a 2? 5.
Nope.
I will say on a 5, you fire, the bullet ricochets off of the thick chain and bounces into an infected's head and knocks it off the dock and into the waters. However, at this point, they are nearing the gangplank. I will allow each of you one more roll. I'm going to say this is going to be the same options, brawn or flight. However, each of the difficulties are going to go up by 1 because of the stress of the situation.
Can I do something else instead? Will that fuck up the DC?
It'll raise it by 1 more if
That's
you're not
fine.
eating.
I don't think I'm doing much help here. I'm hurt. I'm not that strong to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna back off and throw a thing of black powder towards like the edge of the gangplank down on the dock.
Okay.
Would I be strong enough to be able to like kick the gangplank off?
Ooh, that's good thinking. We'll find out. Go ahead. It's going to be the Tray of Fate again.
Oh my god.
Go ahead. This is going to be a fight or grit, I'll say.
Okay.
But certainly is going to be to kick the gangplank off by yourself as Adelia. I would say that is a task for which success would be incredible and impressive. I'm going to say that's going to be a difficulty of 17.
17. Okay. Got a D12 for grit.
Is this a snap or a plan?
This is a snap decision.
So it's a 4
4.
plus 1 is 5.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and take your adversity tokens. Adelia, you rush forward and you kick the gangplank. Not even thinking, you kick out with your splinted leg and just kind of like, hobble backwards. Cecil, this is going to be a brawn check. The difficulty now has gone from 9 to 11 as Ezekiel steps away and tosses the black powder. Before we do your roll, Ezekiel, let's see if this helps you a little bit.
Cecil.
Or Cecil. God, your name. Those names make the same mouth shape.
Yeah.
Z.
Before Cecil makes his roll for getting the anchor weighed, Ezekiel, you toss black powder out. First, go ahead and make. This is going to be two rolls that we're going to make. The first
Okay.
one is for accuracy. The second one is for luck. For the accuracy roll, either roll fight or flight
Oh yeah.
to properly aim at the dock with this bag full of black powder.
And
This is going to be a difficulty of 5.
6.
You throw the black powder and it careens through the air and lands on the dock. Now I just need a straight luck check. Roll a d20. I'm going to say this is 50-50 shot on an 11 or higher. The impact causes it to explode.
13.
It makes a perfect arc through the air and lands on the dock just ahead of a group of infected, and it hits and your heart sinks as it just lands. And then the first infected at the head of the pack stomps on it and it explodes and blows. You see wood planks and chunks go up into the air as another group of infected are falling into the water. Their bodies sink like bricks, and that chasm again quickly fills with bodies of falling infected, but you've got an entire town of thousands of people chasing down these docks towards you and creating bridges of bodies for their companions to run across. Cecil, this lowers your difficulty back down to a difficulty 9 brawn check. We're going to use the Tray of Fate.
Got a 1 in 4 success chance here. I think it's an 11.
That is an 11! Cecil, Ezekiel leaves and rushes over. You see him like heft something over. You hear an explosion and a bit of a cheer as Ezekiel kind of like collapses down to the ground, breathing heavily. You put all of your might forward across from Liliana and Dr. Blair, neither of which seem to be the beefiest of people. And together you turn the capstan and it starts moving and you feel it twisting as you step around, and the ship continues moving. The gangplank shifts and falls, and you hear it plunge into the water below, floating there once again, just like you found it, as your ship continues towards the end of the dock and past it into the harbor. And you have now set sail away from Thorncroft. Behind you, hordes of infected rush to the end of the docks and are falling and splashing, and you see some of them are losing their footing and they're falling off the edges of the dock and creating a splash that alerts some that were immediately next to them that then go for that sound, and it's just causing this chain reaction where they're all just leaping into the water. And as you pray to the one God that they do not know how to swim, you continue on into the fog, and gray surrounds you. A few moments pass before you all can settle down and the adrenaline stops pumping through you so much. The injuries that you've sustained, that pain slowly leaches back into your mind as the adrenaline wears away. And you find yourselves, for now, safely aboard the ship. Liliana kind of like leans on the capstan. She's just like, boy, are you a sight for sore eyes. I'm so sorry that we got separated back
Check
at
them
the...
for bites
Right.
before it's too late.
Whoever would need to can go to a more private area. I prefer this to be a one-on-one endeavor. I charge much more for group rates.
Why not just give them the juice? Either way.
Have you been bitten?
No.
We've got something if you have, it's fine.
We ain't been bitten.
You've been bitten?
No, we ain't.
Okay.
I just said we ain't been bitten.
I'm sorry.
I didn't think I'd see you lot again. Oh man, Nigel went crazy back in the house.
Oh?
What did he do?
Oh, he got bit.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, he literally went crazy.
Well,
That's alright.
How? What about this?
Oh, hey, shit pants.
Oh, hey, Fart Pisser. This is Shit Pants Jr.
Oh, look at him. Nice. We should find a fart pisser junior. Any cats on board other than this one?
Well, there were some horses.
Maybe I'll find a rat.
No.
oh.
That's what Shit Pants Jr. is for.
Oh,
Well,
Maybe you could get a dog.
there are any dogs on board?
not
No.
I'll never be found.
Well, once we get back to land.
I just hand him the teddy bear.
Fart pisser junior. Do you think he farts every time he pisses too?
Almost certainly.
Yeah, he does. He snuggles it.
Yeah.
I like that there's like 5 different places that the name could come from.
Oh God.
Dr. Angus is like, I can use the captain's quarters to just look everyone over. Or to be safe, I can just administer in some injections, and if anyone has been bitten, it should remove the parasites from their systems.
whatever would be safest.
Right.
We don't want to use all our.
I used the last of my quinine.
I've got
Has anyone else got any?
I've got one
Got
injection.
2 of these left.
4 doses.
2 full vials?
Yeah.
Oh, that's more than enough. Half of that will get us, half of one of those vials will get us covered on both of them. If you don't mind. He takes it, injects them for safety, and yeah, both of them are like willingly accept, rather than being dressed down in front of everyone to be searched for bite marks. And you all breathe a little more steadily.
Where are we going?
I was going to ask the same thing. Shall we head straight for the mainland, or did we want to loop around to the southern portion of the island and see if that shopkeeper made it?
Well, we saved 2 people already. That's pretty good, I'd say.
We didn't make any promises to be.
Who knows, maybe we just start a new life at sea and repopulate the earth.
Nope. Nope, we're killing the mainland.
I don't know how that works.
I read it in a comic a lot. It just always comes up in the penny.
I always say it. No?
That's the last concern we need to worry about right now.
You think they got any penny dreadfuls on board?
I don't know what that is.
Sometimes they got a smut. I'm gonna go look.
Fart pisser rushes below decks.
Don't follow his example. Do you know the way to the mainland?
I'll ask Liliana.
Personally, I mean, I know that it's northeast of Thornecroft by probably about 2 days' travel. I had to take a ferry from the mainland to Thorncroft in the first place.
Do we have a compass?
Surely there's
Actually,
something
do
in
I?
the...
Hold on.
You have
Different
adversity
compass.
tokens.
They want-
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, you know what?
Same.
I think I'm pretty prepared for this.
Yeah.
I think I might have a compass.
Yeah, you definitely, we'll say back at Pete's General Goods store,
Yeah.
you found a compass among the shelves and thought, couldn't hurt.
Yep.
Well, that'll help since we're in the fog, mist stuff.
Certainly. One of us should probably take the helm.
I got it.
One of the adults. You're not old enough to drive yet, shitpants.
I can shoot.
Different things.
Very good at shooting. You did very well.
Aiming a ship is not
Thanks.
the same as aiming
I've
a
been
gun.
doing it since I could walk.
Oh, just a little baby in diapers run around.
It shouldn't
What's
take.
the diaper? I just shit my
Shit my
pants.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
Yeah. Walked right into that
Tracks.
one.
Tracks. You did this.
You're welcome. Right, I'll take over. It shouldn't take too much strength. It's more about, I mean, if we hit any weird
Sea
undercurrents.
monsters.
Just gonna slump down again and take another swig and just fucking.
I'll fix us some food.
Yeah, so as.
Oh, I'm gonna follow that.
Excellent.
We're
Yeah.
going mainland, right? Mainland? Mainland.
Mainland.
Yeah. Cecil, you make your way down to below decks to the galley to start cooking some of the meats that you got from Pete's Goods that formerly were at your very own shop. And start putting together a meal. What are the rest of you up to as Ezekiel takes his rest?
I'm probably going to be talking to Liliana. And you ever heard of a girls' night?
Yes.
A little teary-eyed.
I used to charge. I used to charge extra for those too. Business dried up quick on Thorncroft, though.
Yes, I would imagine that the horde of zombies had something to do with that.
Oh, even before that. I mean, people in Grand Albrosia are much more prudent than those in Libertalia. I thought there would be more money to be made here, because I heard that, high society types were behind closed doors. They'd spend money for this and that. But turns out, no, mostly they're just kind of stuck up all the time.
Yes, I hear that most of the money goes towards underground horse fighting.
Oh, that's odd. By the looks of it on the dock, y'all have some inside knowledge on that bit as well.
I don't recommend it. It's quite brutal.
I see. What is Shitpants up to?
I'm helping Cecil.
You followed Cecil, yeah.
Helping Cecil
You're
cook.
learning how to cook, yeah. As meat is being prepared, and you learn how to regulate the temperature of a stove based on the size of the fire, and how to properly season and care for a cast iron skillet, probably as well.
So you don't salt it.
Well, I mean, you can use salt to clean it. Scrub it with the salt.
But they don't mean seasoning like with salt and pepper.
Oh no, you use oil and you bake it into the surface, which creates a non-stick. We'll worry about this.
All right.
As you're cooking, Fart Pisser comes in, and could I have both of you make a brains check? This is going to be difficulty of 8.
Real big bad evil guy.
It was Fart
Whole
Pisser all
campaign.
along.
6. You say the difficulty of 8?
Don't worry, I'll probably explode.
Can we spend adversity tokens?
If you want to, yeah.
You can give him.
Oh, I could give.
We can get up to 8.
Excellent. Cecil, you kind of like look over your shoulder as Fart Pisser is drawn in by the smell of food, and you notice that there's a little like handkerchief tied around his finger that wasn't there before when he first got on the ship as he comes in.
What's that?
Oh, that smells good. This?
Yes. Did you hurt yourself?
Yeah, I was trying to wrangle Fart Pisser Jr. and he got snippy. But I know first aid.
The teddy bear?
No, the rat.
What rat?
He was in the. I was rolling around in the hay, thinking, oh, this would be a nice place to sleep. But then I rolled straight onto a pile of horse shit, and I had to, wipe that off. And it was that when I saw him. He was there, just like in the hay, being a little mouse. And I thought, that's Fart Pisser Jr. So I tried to catch him, but he ran. So I chased him around in the stables. But then eventually he got mad and he turned around and he snipped at me right when I got him in my hands. But he's still around here somewhere, I'm sure.
Go up on deck and tell the doctor that you've been bitten.
All right.
I'll go with him.
I went for the rat.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that? Hold on. Is that fear?
Do you have? I was gonna say, do you have any adversity tokens left?
I don't.
Cecil, you take your gun. You fully within yourself say you're gonna go track down this rat and take it out, but you freeze, and instead you sit in the galley and wait. Luckily, it's a galley kitchen, so it's just like a little hallway, and you just kind of sit there and stare and aim and wait for the rat to walk by the door.
I look. Is there any cheese?
Yeah.
I throw some cheese out.
Yeah, it's definitely molded at this point, seeing as how this ship has been sitting here at port for a full 7 days. But yeah, you toss some cheese out and
And
you
I
take
wait.
Yeah, you take aim at the cheese and wait. Go ahead and roll me a d20. You want a 10 or higher.
4.
You continue to wait. The rest of you go up on deck. Fart Pisser comes up, and you see as he walks up to the ship's helm and starts talking with Dr. Angus. The two of them are having a conversation.
He got bit by a mouse. Fart Pisser Jr.
You don't think that he's already been injected, so shouldn't be infected, right?
Fart Pisser.
Yeah,
Did the mouse have stalks? Did it have?
I don't think so. It's just a mouse.
Right, so it's just the Black Plague then, if anything. It's fine.
Normal.
It's only, the Wigglers only get into what, like bears and people, right?
Horses.
Horses too.
Horses too.
Whales.
Deer.
Oh yeah, Liliana told me about the whales.
Ate a lady.
Dr. Angus looks down. He's like, Fart Pisser, would you like to steer the ship for a while? I'm like, do I? He's like, right, yeah, just hold it straight here, and see, we've got. And he like points to the compass that's been like set up on the front. He's like, make sure that stays pointing at these two letters, right? These two little symbols that are shaped like that. And Fart Pisser's like, yeah, northeast. I know how to read. He's like, oh, good. Yeah, keep us on that heading, Captain. Nudges him, walks down to the rest of you. Could I see all of you in my quarters, please?
Yeah.
You have
course.
quarter.
I'm still...
The captain's quarters, it's not necessarily mine. We could all share them. Whatever. And Cecil, you're still below decks with the gun aimed at a sliced cheese. He brings the rest of you into the captain's quarters and closes the door. I don't know for certain, but the child has been bitten by a rat that came from a ship that was full of infected people and animals. We don't know for certain what it is that started the infection on the ship here. It could have been something that came from the mainland. It could have been that stable hand that you tossed overboard, who then bit the horses and infected them, or vice versa. But I don't think we can rule out the idea or the possibility that the rat was infected and started the spread. Now, I haven't done extensive research on this, and it would take some studying of fart pisser, but we don't know for certain if the quinine amount that we have injected is enough to protect from a secondary infection. We don't know if it builds an immunity or if it simply eradicates that which is present. If another, perhaps more advanced or even less advanced type of the organism enters the body after the fact, there's nothing that says that we'll know for sure if he can't be infected again.
It's got gin. You have gin, right? Tonic?
Yeah, I think I've got a bottle of tonic.
We could try injecting him again, perhaps, or just having him down that whole bottle, see if that helps.
He does like to bark and fart and piss. He might do it.
You hear a scream come from the decks.
That's not right.
Cecil, you hear this as well, below decks.
I rush out.
Yeah, you rush out from the captain's quarters.
Blunderbuss.
Where you see Liliana is taking steps back, and Fart Pisser has latched onto her as she pulls and throws him to the ground and brings a hand up to her throat, where you can see blood running down and staining her yellow-white dress that she's wearing. As Fart Pisser stands and turns, his eyes pulsing towards you, and looks and says, and then he rushes towards you, and as he leaps towards our vision, the screen fades to black. We see a young couple on a rocky shore looking out over the dreary sea, strewn with sharp rocks that jut up at treacherous angles. The man is in a well-tailored suit of 3 pieces, with a tall black top hat, and the woman is in a long green and black dress, with a bonnet shading her face. She speaks up, her gaze still out over the choppy waves. "Oh, Charles, isn't the sea just a gorgeous sight?" "The most gorgeous I've ever seen, my dearest Charlotte," he says, as his eyes are fixed upon her pale countenance, clearly speaking of his love and not the sea. She steps forward towards the waves, none the wiser. We see Charles reach a hand into his vest pocket and pull out a ring beset with a single glittering orange gemstone. "My love, there's something that I've been meaning to ask you. It has captivated my every waking thought. Heavens, what are they doing?" Charlotte doesn't turn around as her attention is focused on the large ship emerging from the dense fog and swirling mist. The large ship scrapes against a jagged stone in the water as it quickly approaches the shore. "Charlotte, look out!" Charles rushes forward and grabs his future betrothed, pulling her back across the beach as the ship runs aground, sending pebbles and stones spraying through the air. The pair fall, and Charles covers Charlotte's body with his own, feeling a few of the pebbles strike his back hard. "Who in the what in God's name was driving this vessel?" Charles yells out, brushing sand and dirt from his soiled trousers. "Hello? Is anyone on board? You'll be hearing from my father!" And there's a rush of bodies with pulsing eye stalks that rush from the fissure in the ship's hull, which instantly surround the couple, biting into them ceaselessly. As the worms travel from the mouths of the infected into the veins and arteries of their victims, and the undead parasite makes landfall on the mainland of Grand Albrosia.
What have we done?
We did it, guys.
That's where our story ends. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been Top Hats and Tombstones, presented by Arcanarama. That's us. If you like what you see,
known it was Fart Pisser all along.
It was Fart Pisser all along.
I mean, when it comes down to it, it was the rats in the end.
It was our empathy.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, there's this and many more like it over on our YouTube channel if that's not where you're at currently. If it is and you made it to the end, hey, thanks. You should subscribe if you haven't already. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to have that pizza and ice cream party and no one can stop us. This has been fun. If you want to see more kids, if you want to see more kids on bikes, let us know in the comments below or in the chat, and we'll consider it.
We'll think about it.
I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Maybe.
I did too.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I would have to have another strong concept ready to go for it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next thing to come. We're taking a 6-week break on releasing. 6-week break on releasing content as we create the content and continue to get it built up and edited and ready to disperse to you. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next mini arc. But until then,
Oh, don't wiggle at me!
stay safe out there, adventurers.
Because we did not.
Yay! All right, you guys want to pass me? Well, hang on. Let's do this one at a time because I don't want to mix them up.
That's fair.
Happy finale!
Happy finale!
Yay! I'll just pass this around and you guys can fill your cups to your heart's desire.